Okay, so welcome to this webinar. My name is Gradle Gardner Martin. I'm going to introduce Natahu Allen. She has kindly come along and agreed to present this wellness webinar for social workers, and I've posed some questions to her which are ones that I'd like her to answer for you as social workers, but also you may have questions that you might want to ask her. So I'm just going to pass you over to Natahu and her presentation.
Hi, greetings, and thank you, Gradle, for allowing me to be part of your Wellness for Social Workers webinar. I'm really glad to be here, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to also join in and just find out a bit more about wellness for social workers. Thank you. As Gradle says, my name is Natahu, and I, believe it or not, I used to be a probation officer many moons ago. I was in the field for a good 15 years, and I I resigned in 2004 to teach yoga. So hopefully along the way I can share some of my experiences and pitfalls of working back in the field as a probation officer stroke social worker. If you've got any questions, please type them in the question box, and Gradle and I will answer those gladly at the end of the presentation. I think what I'd like to do before we actually start, and I think it's a theme that's going to run through the presentation, is the importance of actually looking after yourself and preparing yourself before you do anything. So what I invite you to do, and it's something Gradle and I are going to do right now, I'm going to invite you to actually, wherever you are, if you're sitting down, is just to really take a moment to uncross your legs, lengthen your spine, and just squeeze your shoulder blades together to get a nice broad chest. Posture is very important. One of the things I've noticed when I teach social workers and busy women is that the posture is really, particularly if you're working over a laptop a lot of the time, our posture is quite poor. One of the best things you can do to improve your health and well-being is to actually take time to sit correctly at your workstation. So I just invite you to make sure, if you're sitting down, to really sit down with a nice straight spine. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and create space between your ears and your shoulders by just gently lengthening the back of the neck. Then just take a moment or two to tune in to your everyday breath. So don't change the way you're breathing, but just take a moment to notice what you notice about the way you breathe. So just take a moment to tune in to the breath and start to allow the breath to flow softly and gently in and to breathe out. Breathe in on 1, on 2, on 3. Breathe out on 1, on 2, on 3. Let's do one more round together. Deep breath in through the nose on 1, on 2, on 3. Breathe out on 1, on 2, on 3. Well done. And just take a moment to take a steady breath out. If your eyes are closed, just gently open your eyes and re-engage with the presentation. Thank you. And I think one of the major issues involved in working in the caring profession is a sense that we're always caring for other people. It's the nature of the job to care for other people, but the core of that is actually learning how to care for yourself. And one of the ways that you can do that is through the breath, like just a very simple breathing exercise we've just done. Another way is making sure that you take appropriate breaks during the day. Perhaps every hour, get up, walk around, have a glass of water, shake your shoulders. Just do something just to alleviate any stress you may feel that's building up in your muscles. I'm not quite sure if you've got any tips you want to sort of share with other listeners about what you do to kind of improve your well-being at work. Please write those in the chat box. Thank you. Okay. I think one of the first things I would say to social workers about looking after your well-being is to really start to put your own well-being at the core of your work. I know what it's like. You've got so many clients to look after. You've got management dictating what you should be doing, how you should be working. You've got the clients on your back sometimes demanding your time and attention. And you've got your own family, you've got your own personal development to look after, probably your own health and well-being. And just some experience and talking with other social workers, caring for yourself, that always comes bottom of the pile. Yet we know that saying, to care for others, you have to care for yourself. So one of the first things you can do is just to really take time to look at how much time do you spend in a 24-hour day actually caring for yourself, putting your needs at the top of the agenda, or even putting them on the agenda. I know sometimes you may have a lot of work to do, so you end up taking work home, which has a knock-on effect on the quality of your kind of chill-out time with your family and your own personal time as well. So if you can, over the next few days, just have a journal and just note down how many times during your day you actually take time out to care for yourself. And yeah, so that'd be quite an interesting exercise just to do that. Okay. And I think there's many aspects of personal well-being that we can think about, but the one that's really overlooked, and it's the most easiest thing you can do, two things you can do really easily, is to drink lots of water and to take regular breathing breaks during the day. One of the things I recommend is before you leave home in the morning, just get an ordinary bottle of water, get a slice of lemon and just add the slice of lemon to your water. That means during the day you can take sips and it helps to alkalize and to energize the body. And also, it's again just taking time to breathe during the day. And there's quite a few breathing exercises that you can actually practice. And if you look on my website, you'll see some of the ones I recommend that you can do at your desk. We can try one now, if you feel that appropriate. So again, going back to making sure that you're sitting correctly, you've got a really nice long spine, the head's floating up. And just place your right hand on your belly. And take a moment just to breathe in softly through the nose and to breathe out through the nose. Keep breathing in, keep breathing out. And you'll notice as you breathe in, your hand rises up, and as you breathe out, the hand sort of goes back away from the body. So just take a moment just to breathe in and to breathe out. And that's a very simple exercise you can do any time you're at your desk, or before you've got an important meeting, or you've got an important house visit to make. It's just to take a few moments just to rest your hand on your navel area and to slowly breathe in and to breathe out. And it'll instantly help to calm the mind and energize your body. How did I get started? As a probation officer, as a child growing up, believe it or not, I actually wanted to I joined probation because I live in Lewisham, and lots of my peers and even some of my cousins were getting involved in trouble with the police. And I realised that crime could be a part of could become part of someone's cycle. And part of me wanted to find a way to kind of like encourage others to get away from that path of crime and offending. So I kind of wanted to, that was why I joined probation, was to be a way kind of like to offer another service to other people. But whilst I was working in probation, I realised that it was okay. I liked the social work aspect of probation, but after I noticed it was getting very strategic in the way that we had to follow certain guidelines. The social welfare aspect seemed to be less of an importance to management. It was more about offending behaviour, and I just found that wasn't really working for me. Plus, at the time, I was going through my own personal crisis. Lost a brother, lost my cousin, had a miscarriage, and I found that affected my ability to work. And my senior, she recommended that I take some counselling, and it's through the counselling that my counsellor is quite an unusual counsellor in the sense he introduced me to breathing exercises as a way to help to calm myself down during the day at work, and also to do some meditation in the evenings. And I found the more I did my own sort of personal practice, started to do breathing exercises at work and meditation at home, I realised that it actually had such a profound effect on my own sort of emotional well-being. I wanted to kind of introduce that to young offenders who I was working with at the time. It just seemed that there wasn't a way for them to connect with themselves. It's very, very external, things done to them, as opposed to taking charge of your own personal well-being. And at the time, I got into yoga as well. And again, I believe that yoga was such a good way to encourage people to look after their health, to calm your spirits, to calm your mind down. I wanted to find a way to combine my love of yoga with working with young offenders. So I actually I went to India and I trained to become a yoga teacher. When I came back, I had this calling that I wanted to bring peace to the streets of London. And I felt I couldn't do that working within the probation service. So I resigned, and that started a long journey of being a self-employed yoga teacher. And my mission at that time was to find a way to bring probation into the probation service, to work with young offenders, and also to work with my colleagues so they can kind of get a bit of stress relief at work. I had a roller coaster of a journey. I was very fortunate to teach young women and some offenders yoga, and that was really good. And also worked at the Prison Phoenix Trust, and we was doing yoga for prison officers as a way to kind of like manage their stress at work. And I met Gradle, and that was a really interesting part because actually that allowed me to work with the actual workers, hands-on with the workers. And it was really great to do sort of chair yoga and some of the wellbeing days we were doing to actually work with the workers. And I realised just doing that bit of work that actually it was the workers who I really wanted to work with. It was the adults, the carers, because if we aren't strong enough to look after ourselves, how can we actually be strong enough and be there for our clients? So part of my journey now is to find ways of actually working with carers, and I've been fortunate that I've done pockets of work working with probation officers, done some wellbeing days working with probation officers with the staff, and also working with parents on parenting orders, because again that's just another way of working with the client group but indirectly working through the adults. I believe that if the adults are sorted, then it makes it easier for the clients or for their children to be sorted. So that's how I kind of like got working with carers and probation officers. And in terms of the services I offer a range of things. I offer private lessons to people in the, everyday people, and also offer corporate classes whereby I'll come to a workplace and either 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we will hold a chair yoga or meditation session. I've also taken part in team away days whereby I might do some gentle yoga or relaxation exercise at the beginning of the session as a way to help the staff to get a sense of togetherness and being on the same page. So you can find out all the details on my website, which is yogainspires.co.uk. Oh, thank you. That's the website. And please just feel free to email me or to contact me via Gradle, and I'm happy to share a blog post or to perhaps write a newsletter article for your organisation. Anything which you feel that yoga, wellness, relaxation exercises can be of benefit to you, just let me know. I'm happy to serve. And I think there's one thing that we can do as a social worker. It's to get a bottle of water and put a slice of lemon into it and just to have a glass of water right now. And after that, it's nearly 9 o'clock. It's to actually find a way to be in bed, if you can, by 10 o'clock. Again, just from watching some of my friends who are still social workers, they come home 6, 7 o'clock, they rush around preparing things for their family, then after 9 o'clock they're back on the laptops doing a case report or doing some kind of social work or probation report, and that goes on until perhaps 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and that's crazy. So if you can, it's Friday evening, have your glass of water, a slice of lemon in, and then please just put the work down for one evening and give yourself time just to enjoy an evening routine of going to bed 10, 11 o'clock at the latest. Thank you. And if you've got any questions, please jot them in the question box and I'll be delighted to respond. Thank you.